All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time is now. You've been waiting for the Well Metaverse with AceTheBass and
AceTheBass.
Warfeather.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh my God! What's up, guys?
Everybody.
Hey, thanks for coming out. Thanks, Ash.
Hey, so we're going to start this a little earlier tonight just since our guests are here and everybody is here in the audience. So thanks for coming tonight. All right. Another week, Ace. Hey, another day. Man, we've been busy with some stuff, haven't we been?
We have.
With some hurdles to come across, but we've jumped those and landed in other ditches. So we're definitely working on some stuff, right?
Yeah, so common.
Right. All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about a little bit of voice work in metaverse, and then also how people are bringing sound in different ways. Ace, you want to touch on any of that?
You know what? I say we leave it to the professionals, and why don't we bring Ashman on up here to talk a little bit about sound?
Oh yeah, everybody knows Ashman. He's probably one of the greatest when it comes to sound in Horizon. Can we go ahead and remove that barrier, please?
I'm kind of stuck.
There we go.
Hey,
That was just a test. We're trying to see if you go with sound. We're trying to see if you can get around the hurdle as well.
or the wall. I can get around walls.
There you go. Just go through it.
So, how you been? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been very good. Been very good. Just finally wrapped up a deadline of publishing 2 worlds for my first real publish. You know, you kind of dabble for years, but yeah.
Awesome.
You know, and I've really learned a lot. I guess even to just say, you know, I've been working on something that's visually awesome to me. I like graphics more, but I tend to sometimes think that the audio comes out of this world that I built as one of the biggest things, really, because kind of I don't know if anyone's done what I just did.
You want to explain a little bit about what it is you've got?
Yeah, I mean, basically, some of the people know me as DJ Ash, and I thank Ace and Mayhem and the gang at the Soapstone. We used to hang out a lot at the full moon, and they made me a DJ. I don't know how. I told my wife and kids I'm a DJ. They look at me like, you like Pink Floyd. That must be the most boringest nightclub ever, you know. But by doing all those weekends, we had a great time, you know. And the sound is something I kind of pioneered to do. It's not the typical way that people run DJ bots. I kind of did this in the intentions of importing music into Horizon Worlds a year ago. But by doing that, I'm not using what's called voice mod. So most of these people these days, if you just YouTube, how do I make a DJ in Horizon Worlds, it'll probably help anyone else who's watching this. But typically, I think what I've heard, and I haven't really even done it myself, is there's a program called Voice Mod that you can just download. And it's really made for, on Windows, it's made for changing your voice. You know, I can be, you know, Ronald Reagan or something like that. And it does modification to voices on a microphone through your Windows PC. But that program patches Windows with Horizon Worlds through Quest Air Link it's called, guys. So if you've ever used Quest Air Link instead of coming into Horizon Worlds from your headset, it's a different experience to me, and I would highly recommend it only if you have a gaming PC. You know, you really need a good PC with a good graphic card that can run Horizons as a video game, kind of like a Steam game is what I'll really, you know, explain that. But
Yeah.
once you have that capability of a computer that can do that, basically with that computer now, it has to use Windows microphone to project the microphone because it's not really the headset.
Yeah.
So what that does is that allows you then that anything on your PC that's playing like a Spotify, YouTube, or any sound coming out of a browser at all can be pumped. The audio from the computer could be pumped through the microphone device of the Oculus device. They actually installed an Oculus microphone device under Windows. It gets a little crazy with sound, but it's pretty simple overall. Getting yourself a DJ, I would recommend just looking at voice mod, install Horizon Worlds on your PC, and that'll allow you to dabble with that. But you need the Oculus desktop app as well. I mean, this might seem really technical. It gets really crazy, but that's for anyone who's watching this and anyone who really wants to try to bring music into Horizon Worlds, or record their custom sounds with the sound recorder. That might be able to get you in the door to do that. But other than that, you can be a DJ and put Spotify on and just bring your bot in. There's my bot right there, Ashman Live. He's very famous in the full moon.
There
They
it
call him
is.
DJ
Hey, you're the
Ash.
first one. You're the first one to bring props with you, so that's a good little start. So that's good.
There you
Are you
go.
a
I should bring him up here, but he's filming me. He's filming me, so
Oh,
he's-
gotcha. Oh, I like it.
Hey, we got the
But,
best hair in the metaverse up here.
well, it's getting gray. It's getting a little gray. But like I said, voice mod is the easiest way. The way I did it is really technical, and it's using like a voice meter application, and it allows for more advanced things like raising the levels of your audio. And but let me give up some information. I definitely would share anything that I've learned over this year doing this stuff. But one key thing that I understood is, when you run Horizon Worlds on the PC, because it installed a microphone device under Windows, a microphone typically in the audio business is mono. It's a mono device, so it's not stereo left and right. So all of these DJs in the metaverse, and I hope someone could correct me if I am wrong, but from what I'm just understanding is everything we're listening to, guys, pumped as DJs in these rooms are mono songs. Spotify's playing it on the computer or whatever, and it's stereo going into a mono device, one channel, not left and right. So with that said, no one can really hear the difference with the headset speaker system, but let me just, I'd recommend anyone right now, maybe even with me speaking, if you just take your hand and you cup your ear right now on your headset, if you just cup your ear and then you can hear it, the sound is a little bit better. So that with the headset audio, I recommend using Bluetooth AirPods, any Bluetooth device, which you can connect right in the settings before you enter Horizon Worlds. And that the sound is really more immense and you'll hear it a lot better. But what I'm really getting at is the mono thing that I kind of understood is, when I was importing music into my world, I wanted music. I'm building a rock concert, so I wanted stereo. And because my favorite band was Pink Floyd, this is kind of like their thing with surround sound, and they like quadraphonic concerts, and they like to move things around the auditorium. So stereo was important to me. So the trick that everyone should really even dabble in as creators is what I did is I went the next level. I'm kind of like OCD with this stuff too, but I took the audio of a song, left and right channel, and I saved out the left channel to a WAV file and the right channel to a WAV file. And then I made one sound recorder object in the world for the left channel, recorded that left channel, and then another sound recorder of the right channel. But it's tricky. You have to record it at the same time, syncing issues, but you get it. Once you get it, then both the left sound object and the right sound object in a world, left and right speakers, say maybe just in your DJ room, when you script it to say play this right now, it plays at the same time and you're really hearing left and right audio.
Awesome.
It just sounded different when I first did it. I did one little song, one little track I was playing with, and then it came into more. So then I've actually built a 17-minute concert, which I'm really proud of, with this whole thing. But not only was it left and right coming from the front of the concert stage or the front of a stage of a DJ club, I took it to the next level and I went 5.1, like your home surround sound speakers.
Uh-huh.
You got two left and right centers, and you got side left and right, and then I got a rear center. So I did all these sound objects by duplicating them. And there's got to be, I have like 17 minutes of music, but each song is 5 objects.
Wow.
Just to get it, and it's all in sync. That really, when you hear this, it's crazy. But for anyone's dabbling with this, maybe on the simpler terms, that was kind of really advanced what I did, I think. But on the simpler terms, if you're looking to put some background music in, maybe try to record or with an audio program on a PC, guys. You just take the sound of a MP3 or something, and you're able to just like save the left channel and then save the right channel to a file. And if you can try to pump in left and right sound objects in a world, even for ambient stuff, you'll really hear the difference. So that's all I'm really explaining for anyone who's really interested in
What
doing
program
this.
are you using for something like Premiere or Final Cut? Is something that does
with the
audio and
Adobe-
video or something?
It's
Adobe
with the Adobe suite. Adobe Edition comes with the
Audition.
Adobe suite.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's free apps out there, guys. I mean, I'm all about open source and stuff. You know, Audacity is a Windows audio program where it just opens up an MP3, allows you to look at the waveform of a sound of a music track, you know, and you can see the left and the right, and you should be able to just, you know, right click on that and save out the channels left only, right only. But you know, by putting two of these in the world, it'll just give you it. It'll give you that sound of left and right. Now I'm getting very technical because I am a Pink Floyd fan or a Beatles fan from those days when they used to pan sound from left and right when you're listening to those music, you know.
Yeah.
But really, that's advanced stuff. But just if there's a song that you want in your world, why don't you just try to put a sound object over here, record the song with this, you know, get it in the world, and then duplicate that and put it over there. So what I'm saying is you don't need to do left and right separation like I did. Just just record the sound over here, put one object, but duplicate it and put it somewhere else in the world. So they're
Hmm.
emanating from two different locations.
That's a good
Does
idea.
that make
Yeah.
sense? The word, you know, I think you guys might know too. I dabbled with the sound, but you can say it's max distance
Mhm.
from,
Yeah.
you know, from where the sound object is. So like if we had a speaker right here, you know, the sound would come here and maybe reach the back row of the audience. So when you do that, you have a speaker there and you kind of put them in the corners of like your 5.1 home theater, you know? Uh,
Yeah.
that was something that I dabbled on. I mean, I was building this rock concert with lighting and all this visuals and, you know, all this stuff. And then I got into the audio end of it. And okay, of course I took it to the next level. I always kind of tend to do that. And I hate it, but it just prolongs the job. You know what I mean? It prolongs the world.
So what's
building.
the name? What's the name of your world?
Well, I built a Pink Floyd The Wall concert, but the name of the world is The Wall Live at Meta Arena. So while I was doing this, I just, you know, and just to give you a little experience, I really wanted to come into Horizon Worlds almost a year and a half ago. And I've been building 3D stuff in 3D programs since the 90s. And I've always kind of dabbled with my hobby as Pink Floyd stage or lighting. So you know, I got pushed. Some people, you know, I partnered with someone that was really just kind of pushing me to do this. I'm more of a computer software person, but like building it with their hands, I did it though. He pushed me, I did it. And you know, so what I was doing is I just wanted to build the stage. Pink Floyd had in the 1980s they had rock shows that were like operas, you know, big elaborate shows, and they did like, you know, balloons, and they had like, you know, puppets and moving around the stage when you went to see a show. But they built a actual brick wall across the stage. When you went into the show, you actually, you know, you sat down, the lights turned off, and there was this big brick wall, but then there was a big gap in the middle. And as the songs go on in the first set of the show, there was literally people picking up these big cardboard brick boxes and building this wall in front of the fans. And there was over 340 bricks that were built across the stage. So when the set finished, the first set, maybe an hour of a show, they end the show with that set and they take an intermission, but the entire wall got built by humans basically before your eyes, and that was hard to achieve in here. But I originally did that because of the physics in Meta. You know, here I am now. I was from the 90s building this 3D stuff, and I did this wall stuff back in the 90s, building this kind of concert recreation. But in here, I could actually see it fall. You know, the
No.
bricks were all built up and stacked up with physics, and then I could actually tumble it, and that's really the climax of the show. It's a silly thing, but in metaverse, I mean, I was like, this was great. I was definitely hooked,
Yeah.
and from that, I was like, okay, so I built this at scale too. I mean, another thing with me is a pretty really perfectionist, but I measured everything meter to meter. You know, the brick size that was in the stage. I'm, you know, pouring through books, archives, the stage, the arena itself. I actually had to. So when I did this stage, bricks, and I did 340 duplicated bricks with an array, and then I tumbled it just in a clean world. But then I started, okay, let's build this arena. And I'm like, okay, gotta be sick, OCD or whatever. I'm like looking up like LA Lakers Staples Center or something, and I'm measuring the height of it with Google Maps. You know, really, literally, right to the. So I built an arena basically, uh, and you know, it has the full experience of a concert. I really just kind of wanted to get this whole thing. So when you're outside, you walk up the stairs and you go in those doors that the venues have. And my first build that I'm really proud of, my first real build, not assets back then. There wasn't even assets a year and a half ago, really, were there? I built I built my first turnstile, which if anyone knows
Yeah.
what the turnstile is, it's like going through a subway where your gut hits the damn bar and it's like, you know that thing, and it whips back at you. You know, it's just like. But then I was dabbling with the audio of it, so I made this turnstile, which I'm proud about. It's really a hard mechanism, but I was like, wow, you can really do mechanics in here and get it accurate, and I did it. So then I'm like, okay, I need the real sound of that turnstile, like the subway. So I went out to a website and just grabbed a little sample of a turnstile and I imported it in. So that was my first real object that had animation and I used a custom sound. So really, we're talking about audio here, and I hope what I'm sharing is helpful. But
Oh, very
that
helpful. Yeah.
helped me. Yeah, that helped me get some sound on that little. You know, so when you walk into a concert, of course, you get your ticket and you get to go through the turnstile, and the guy says, "Oh, I've enjoyed your show. Scanned your ticket." You know. Other than that, I started building this arena. It's at scale, big. You know, and I wanted some outside noise. So when you go into this arena, this show, you are left in the parking lot outside, and I wanted some street traffic. And I didn't want to use the meta sounds that were there in the default sounds. They have some good things, but I went and grabbed some sounds of New York City, you know, kind of cabs honking the horn, and it just gives you that ambient sound. So I'm just like, it is true. I mean, you got to look at it. The graphics, the visuals, the modeling, and everything is great, but audio is a big missing part. And you know, I've heard this on many shows too. I'm just kind of hearing what I think. Like it is a big part. So I have some ambient sound outside, and then when you walk into the lobby area where you get your tickets, there's some ambient sound in there as well. You know, some people talking. Just
Uh-huh.
gives you the feel that people are there because there's only damn 32 people can be in these worlds, you know. But
Yeah.
so that's kind of cool. And you know, from there, guys, the show started building. I started going into the center of the arena. I measured the arena floor like a hockey rink. I found the hockey rink size. I started going outward with meters, and then I started building my chairs, the stadium chairs. I really wanted to do this the proper way with like multiple level stadium seats, but I quickly found that was not going to happen. You know, I actually built the actual chair that you sit in. You know how you flip it down and it has a little beer cup holder.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, as soon as I duplicated the first row of 12, I'm like, oh no, the percentages are going up. I'm like, oh, this is not going to happen. You know, so I ended up with like
Those
park
pesky
benches.
percents.
Those low
Yeah,
percents.
exactly. But you know, honestly, you know, I ended up with park benches, and I have, you know, I've actually counted it. It's about a 6,000 seat arena, and it is at scale. It's one level. And recently, just the other day, I finally kind of did my last update where I put the chairs on the floor because the
Yeah,
floor
I
was
saw
just kind
that.
of empty cement. It does give it a better feel, but and
I
then
have
you know I
to.
could get out. Yeah,
On that note, I
go
have to
ahead.
tell you though, like I went in there with
Yes,
Bose Bluetooth, and it
yes,
actually
sir.
sounds like a real concert when you're standing in the
Yeah,
middle of that room. It's
yeah.
pretty crazy, actually.
Thank you,
I've
Warfeather.
done
I
it a
mean,
few times. Yeah, a few
yeah,
times I went in there.
it is, and I got to admit, hearing feedback like that, and some of the people that were in here, the audio challenge that I did, and I took to the next level with all these damn objects. I think it came out like as one of the biggest things about it. You know,
Yeah.
other than that, I didn't even intend for that. I was like, just like this is a concert. I want to be able to sit in a concert and watch it. And the audio is really immersive. So if anyone wants to go and look at that today, really try and get your earbuds. Just grab your Apple AirPods and stick them in your ear,
Yeah.
and just go to the settings and just pair them. It's not that hard, but I recommend that anyway. But you know, the sound in that room, it was all mixed. Honestly, I mean, I'm a video editor. I definitely took this whole show from the beginning. I mean, I have a whole 2 hour concert in an editing program, but of course I couldn't do that, and it would be too boring for most people that don't know Pink Floyd The Wall concert. You know, so I nailed it down by a couple songs. You know, and then the main song that everyone's familiar with, Another Brick in the Wall, is called, you know, We Don't Need No Education. You know, it had to be there kind of thing. So it's I got a good 5 songs in there, and it gives the good feel of the whole show wrapped up in like 12 minutes, pretty much
Nice.
compared to a 2 hour show. So I mean, other than that, there's a lot of lighting tricks that I've done. I spent like 4 or 5 months with a lighting rig that's a stage prop that Pink Floyd uses, which is like a circle projection screen, and it has lights that move. They're called Very Lights in the business. Kind of when you watch like American Idol, America's Got Talent, you see all those nice lights on the concerts on the
Uh-huh.
stage for the people. So I have control over the lights, and that was something that I had to achieve before I could continue. And that was like, so I stepped away from the whole arena and built that in like my garage, empty world, learned a lot of scripting and learned a lot how to get the light properly lit and looking good. And then I brought it in. Like it's funny. Like I actually like brought it in like a U-Haul would bring it into the arena. I just loaded the asset in after I was really done with it. And it's funny. I had to bring it down. It's like it's so fun. I just I'm honestly saying I built this thing just to have VR experience of looking up at this stage at scale. But now I'm doing all of this, and now I'm doing okay. Now I'm going to perform this damn show. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a rock star. Just whatever. So now I'm on the stage playing air guitar to this damn thing. And it's like I didn't expect any of that in the beginning, but it's fun. I mean, for anyone who wants to see what a rock star sees, I'm up on that stage and I'm behind the microphone and looking at this little crowd of 30 people that come in here and they're all like this. And I mean, the views are excellent. So this world allows anyone to just go in there during the day and check it out and be that rock star, go on the stage and just the music will play, the show will play. It's just a push of a button and the show will play, but you can get up there and grab a guitar and just kind of air guitar it through it.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think after the show, what we'll do, if anybody's interested, we'll go and throw the portal out so you guys can actually go check that out. Definitely a recommendation, a great world to look at.
Tear down the
Thank you,
wall.
Warfeather.
Absolutely.
Any questions though? Really, I mean, I've learned some tricks, and there's tricks to be had in Horizons, and some of these, you meet people that do different things, and this was maybe uncharted territory. I don't know if anyone's done this stereo kind of thing in here yet, but it's I highly recommend it. Even like just a bar with like some, like a bar or something with some cling clang of like the glasses.
I
Just that kind
definitely don't know of
ambient
anybody
sound.
that's done it to the level that you're doing it. For sure.
Yeah, I don't.
Thank you, Ace, yeah.
I think that is a different level. Absolutely.
No, but it's I've been helping people put some sounds in worlds now too, just dropping it in there. They've asked me for some favors, and I've done that because I got to admit what I gave in the beginning of the show here about voice mod and getting the Windows PC going. Anytime you bring Windows into the mix, and especially Windows Sound Mixer, I mean, I still come home and I'm having issues with it. It's just not easy. Windows sound is very weird, but it's worth it if you're building and you need custom sounds. Definitely get it done. You need a
Well, you
bot.
do it right. You imported one into my lovers or Ashes of Eden.
Yes, I did.
and it's still
Yes.
not muted yet. So you definitely did it right. So there you go.
Yeah, there's I could talk about that too. Of course, there's a lot with the copyright thing now. So you don't expect that you're gonna get a gaming PC and I'm gonna go listen to my Dr. Dre or Taylor Swift song in my world. Ain't gonna happen, guys. As soon as you record that, Facebook's gonna come back and review the music that you record and it's gonna be muted, and they'll email you. But there's no harm done, which is great, and I love that. They just tell you, hey, your music's muted. Try again.
Yeah.
Because I think they used to ban me or something, or they used to send I think people had said like their world could get banned, that you would lose your whole world because of it in the year ago or something. I heard. Some
Yeah.
stories, but,
Something like that. Yeah.
yeah, but look for cover artists, guys. That's a little tip for you. Look for a cover of Taylor Swift. You got me? Go on YouTube, rip this music, rip a live show. They don't know anything about that. I'm a bootlegger.
Well, awesome.
I'm a bootlegger. Yeah, thank you, Ace. Yeah.
A lot to unpack there.
Yeah,
Here in a little bit, we'll open it up to questions, and so if anybody's got some things they want to ask Ash about sounds and importing music or running a DJ, we'll let you guys ask those questions. But before we get to that, we're gonna bring MetaVoice on up here, and he's gonna talk a little bit about
MetaVoice.
voiceover work and doing stuff like that here in Horizon.
Well, the decisions of where to the decisions there. I'll sit over here. How about this? I'll sit next to
I
you,
did take a
Warfeather.
shower today, so we're good.
The
yeah.
seat's warmed up for
Oh,
you.
that's good. That's really good. Yeah. It's is it? I hope it's just because of a seat cushion warmer, right? I hope good thing I don't have a glass of water spilled all over me on being electric chair. Anyways, thank you for having me on the show. I'm not sure if I'll be as much of a utility as Ashman Media and his plethora of knowledge of technology. I'm basically a stone and a chisel going, I think this works. Go ahead.
Well, what have you been doing? What's been going on with you in Horizon?
Oh, well, lately I've been taking a break, but I've been doing a podcast, and before that, I was, I've been working on audio books, kind of being able to, figure out ways how can I implement my voice into different worlds and horizon and in different ways. Back in the beginning, they gave you such a small amount of time that you could really record. And then you would have to use scripts to be able to, when that track ends, start the next one. And it wasn't as simple as it is today. Back then it was oh boy. So I didn't really get into the scripting. I said, well, I can create it, but I'm just gonna have to put it in a warehouse somewhere until I decide to do something with it and Frankenstein it together. But now you can record so much longer, 20
Yes.
minutes or something like that, or even more than that. And it doesn't take
Yes.
as much space either. At one point in time, you could only do, I did, it was 8 5-minute clips, took up 80% of my sound complexity.
That's right.
Now,
Mm.
8 5-minute clips takes up 2-3% of my sound
Yeah.
complexity. I can put 50 5-minute clips in there, which is great. If I had, and don't get me, someone that had a like a robot, someone like Ashman Media with his voice changing mods and stuff like that, could definitely go in there, push a button, and do what I'm doing within the matter of minutes, which takes me hours to do one book. But I don't know. There's something about giving it a bit of energy, giving it a bit of life to it that I still don't think that AI can completely do. It can do a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. It can do a lot of things. It's very scary. Sorry, what was the question?
I love MetaVoice.
So you said you're doing audiobooks. Are you doing like a world where people can go listen to the audiobooks?
Oh, yes, it's called Story Time. There's around 20 books right now you can listen to. There's the Grimm's. So I was just using my real hands to put the numbers out. Let me go ahead and do this to be in character. You can listen to Grimm's Tales. You can listen to what was the creepy pastas. You can listen to fairy tales. You can listen to true crime, Reddit stories, all different kinds. And what I do, because I don't have a bot, and what I do is I start at the very beginning of the story and I read all the way to the end in one take. And if there's multiple voices, I do each one of those voices too in one take. So
Nice.
it takes me a few takes, but when you listen to it, it's all that hard work, blood, sweat, and tears put into it. When some guy can just come along, push a button, eat a donut, and wait for it to, quickly download through a Morgan Freeman voice cover over, and people are gonna go see that because they want to listen to Morgan Freeman read War of the Worlds. They don't want to listen to MetaVoice read about Cinderella. But I understand. I digress. It was really the only way I could how can I put something here? And
I might enjoy Mrs.
Go ahead.
Doubtfire reading Cinderella.
Oh dear. No, that's something that sometimes happens, Yeah, and some of the voices that I do are reading some of the stories. So I figured that was a way I could, not Mickey Mouse though. You do about 3 minutes of Mickey Mouse, and you want your own. How can I say this in the most appropriate way? Let's just say whatever is going to happen in your head's going to look like a Van Gogh painting. I think that's the best way. But Mrs. Doubtfire, yeah, she reads one of them, and then MetaVoice, and then if you look in there, some of the voices that I do have no exaggeration to them, so it's just me completely doing a quote unquote normal voice. I figured if I threw a few of those in there, people would flock going, wait, MetaVoice has a normal voice, and want to go see them, but it hasn't worked yet. But it will.
You've got me interested.
Yeah,
I know.
all
Your
5 to
audience
10
here.
seconds.
There you go.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's great, MetaVoice.
You
Well,
can ask
cool.
more questions. I don't talk as much as Ashman Media does. I don't have as much
Ashman made it
technical
easy. We just all kind of sat
formulas.
back
I
and-
know. I was
kicked our
kicked
feet
back
up.
even. I was like, "Ooh, this is a nice little podcast." Let's see.
MetaVoice.
Oh, it was to the point where I had questions, but before I could ask him, he answered them. So I mean, it was like a Q&A on his own. what was
He's
going
like a
on there.
mind
So-
reader. He's over there
Yeah.
using ChatGPT 4. He's going,
There you
what
go.
questions are they going to ask me next so I can prepare for it? Okay. I know your
You
secret.
caught him. You caught him.
So going back to the whole sound and doing audio, you do kind of something unique in here as well. You do the whole voiceover for a lot of people, correct? Like you like to do
Yeah.
voice work.
For
Can you tell us
their
a
worlds
little
and
bit
stuff.
more about that and how you've been doing that in Horizons?
Yeah, for sure. So there are some worlds out there, a lot of like talk show worlds, for instance, that the voice that they usually need, like, yeah, next, here comes your host. And I'll do those voices. I have soundboards. I even have a little store. I don't sell anything because I'm probably Horizon World's worst businessman ever. I give everything away for free. But I have a store, and there's like voice assets that I've built, and I've given away. What I've actually done is a lot of the youth here in Horizon, that the adults kind of go away, we don't want to deal with you. I go, you know what? I have a treasure chest of troves that I don't use because I mean, after when you see the new soapstone, you'll understand I'm done building. But I take that stuff and I kind of give it out to them so that they can build things of their own. So I do different custom voice clips for different buttons and DJs as well. I've done voices for DJs and sound studios and rap artists for some reason want my voice in their track, and it's really weird, but they sometimes pay. It's okay.
You sit
Awesome.
in the background and go, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's like, what? Yeah. And like, woo. But it's very interesting bringing a lot of characters to life, because one thing that I do believe is missing is a lot of voices in our worlds. Okay, we have a lot of music. Music is great. DJing is wonderful. I've always wanted to compile a Spotify playlist and click play and repeat and shuffle. But unfortunately, I don't have a computer that can get a bot in here yet. What we do need is a lot of NPCs. We're missing really the real life of this to breathe life into it. One of the things that it's missing is not our voice, but a voice to voice back to us. And so that's one thing that I've done as well, has been voicing NPCs for different worlds, worlds that haven't really come out yet, but they're working. Any great world, as we know, takes time to really bring out. And that's, I don't know, just a side note, if anyone ever played like Fallout 76, ever heard of that game? It was in the beginning, they didn't put NPCs in there, and they were like, oh, this will work, everyone will flood in and be their own NPC, but it didn't work. It was horrible. It was so lonely, and everyone felt like there was no purpose. Well, it's the same thing that happened here. We have no sounds, no NPCs, no one talking back to us. We can't click a button and go on an adventure. No, we just have to figure out the adventure. Not that anyone out there ever reads any instructions. Can you believe that? If you put a giant button, you make a world, you make a giant button and you put press me, they'll go around the button.
Oh yeah.
every single time.
Just for an example, when the soapstone used to have the button on top of the building that you had to press to go in, I would stand off to the side and just watch people, and they'd spawn in and they'd be completely just, what do I do? Where am I supposed-" And like, there's this huge sign right here that tells you exactly what you got to do, but they're completely lost.
Well, one of the sound things that I did was the Titanic simulator, that world. I did they had an information board, and I was like, you know what? Since it's so close, you can basically force people to listen to the information. If someone just accidentally even hits that button, everyone has to listen to it. So I came up, that was a great idea. Little information boards for people to be able to learn about things. People are using this platform more as a utility every single day, because we've gotten bored with all the bars, and we partied as much as we could in the beginning and celebrated, and now we're settling down going, okay, what can we really use this for? And I really believe that instructional videos, informational worlds that you go into and completely be like magic school bus the heck out of it. And just like Danny Los Angeles, another person on here that does voice work in their worlds, you can go on different rides and be able to experience those rides with voices and sounds coming back, not only music and world. not only music and sounds from other animals in nature and stuff, but actually a guided tour. And I feel like that has been underutilized here in Horizon a lot. And I feel that now is even better of a time now that we can actually use sounds to its fullest capabilities when it comes to the complexity of how much space it takes up. Because before there was no reason. If you asked me 6 months ago, hey, should we do this? I'd be like, no, why? You put 4 voice clips in there and you're done with basically. But now, why not fill it up? Everyone has all that space left. If you go to your complexity, your world, you look all the way in the bottom of that sound complexity, it's probably at like 2 to 3% at most. You're really not using a lot of it because the clips that they give us do not take up a lot of space. It's usually what we have to pre-record in here that do, and now that it doesn't, what are you doing? You're missing out on the opportunities. And if you're going to take advantage of the opportunities, MetaVoice on all your Instagram, social medias, Facebook, YouTube, just let me know. So anyways,
I think you're one of the first people I've talked to that talks about how much extra space and extra percents we have available to us.
Extra percents. Yeah.
Only
it's all
sound.
about how you use it, really, at the end of the day.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
your turn.
It's funny. Ace and I are actually working on something right now. I told you about it. So we're gonna have a goose tell you our rules on our game. So I mean, maybe you'll be a goose. Who knows?
And I'll be a lot more understandable than Affleck. But it'll be fun. Let me know. But
I have one question, MetaVoice.
Yeah, just one.
What does NPC mean? You had mentioned that master of
NPC. Oh, an NPC, non-playable character. Okay, so an NPC are those characters that fill up the video game worlds that are not the actual live person. That typical bartender or the typical salesman at the little tavern shop area, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if you went into these worlds and you had an avatar of which you could put in random quests that might not even have anything to do with the world that you have, and send them people on quests. When I chat GPT'd at one point in time what the best world would be to come up with to have everyone come in, and it said some type of adventure land. Yeah, we got Roblox or Minecraft and stuff like that, but we really haven't took advantage of what you could really do with even what you have now, because taking up land doesn't take up a whole lot of area, a few mountains here and there. But now that you can asset spawn stuff in, you can asset spawn different adventures in that have all unique sound complexities. You can now asset spawn different parts of adventures in. Say you get through one half of the cave and a whole new world portal dimension, you can time warp to different parts of time and you take on adventures, and you have NPCs voicing, and it feels like it's alive. But right now, it feels like it's dead.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So you talk about asset spawning. That's one of the things that we're working on right now is asset spawning our game world. So you'll be able to spawn in different stadiums to play the game in. So that's taken on quite the life. We've got quite a few creators that are coming in and building stadiums for that. So
and also.
I'm sorry. I think that's actually helping the whole capacity thing that we're limited to, because you could actually you can load in an asset that takes up maybe 10%. Maybe you have 10% left, and then you load it out and bring the next one in. So you can keep changing in and out, unload it from memory, load it back in.
Well, another thing that's vastly important we can't forget about, Ryan, is everyone out there that's listening, please remember to like, save, and share, so not only you can listen to what sounds can really affect your world here in Horizon, but your friends can too. Sorry, continue.
Wow. Okay, that was good.
Little segue.
I almost bought into it.
Little segue. Yeah, I know, right? Now that I have your attention, do you have a moment to talk about your car's extended warranty?
Negative.
Anyone? Okay. All right. We'll go back to sounds. Thank you for calling Movie Phone.
Do we want to open it up? Has anybody got some questions for these guys, or how to work some sounds in your worlds?
They don't even know why they're here.
Come on, bring it on. Come on, ask me. What am I
Wait,
kidding?
where am I?
Who said that? Warren? That
Just
is
Space
true.
just woke up. He fell asleep before the show started. Oh, we got one, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Oh,
Nikki.
How about Grand Theft Auto? Is it ever going to come out?
Oh no.
Oh, that is true. That's
Grand,
like a
Grand Theft
version
Auto
6.
1? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because he
Oh, what do you
only
mean,
said
for-
Grand
for
Theft Auto. He
Oculus?
didn't say anything.
Yeah,
on
for
it.
Oculus.
Oh man,
Oh,
can you
for-
imagine?
Oh,
thought you
yeah,
meant
yeah, but it's gonna be
GTA
hooked to your. It's gonna be
I
hooked to
don't
your
even-
computer.
I don't even want to try to imagine.
So you,
Grand
it's
Theft
gonna be
Auto
hooked to
in
your
real
computer.
life in VR
Yeah, it's got
world.
Rockstar games. I'm sure he does.
I just, oh Jesus. Yeah, no.
And most likely, it's not gonna be the newest one that's gonna come out. I mean, have
okay.
you played the Fallout 4 on the Oculus yet? Because you can play Fallout 4 on the Oculus. You can play Call of Duty on the Oculus. It's not the same. I'm just gonna let you know the physics engines are just not there.
I will
Call
say
of Duty
Population
though,
One is a
I
pretty good
do
game,
like, but not. I've
it?
never seen it on VR.
Oof. Half-Life is on VR too. It's called Alice. Ugh, I love Half-Life. But this isn't about games.
That's cool.
This isn't about games. This is about sounds. We're here about sounds. At least I think that we are. That's what I was told when I got invited.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, sound. So,
Me too.
anybody else have any questions about any sounds that they're trying to do in your worlds, or any questions of how you would do something? All right. Well, I mean, something we didn't hit on at all. I mean, it does relate to this whole sound thing. Is also how to separate sounds. You know, because like you just worked. I mean, I tried to help a little bit. Had technical issues, but like for Miranda, for instance, you guys just helped with her world. We own 3 different positions. You know, trying to separate people from hearing from people from other locations by using different triggers and whatnot as well. So that's always something that a lot of people are using in Horizons. More or less that's more or less something that the beginner intermediate builders would want to know how to use, is how to use those triggers. Like, what did you do when it came to Miranda's world, when it came to the 3 different locations?
Well, so for that one specifically, that world's called Vibes. The like conversation is a big aspect of that world. So you want to be able to hear each other from a decent amount of distance, but we didn't want people in one area hearing each other in another area. So that one, there's actually 3 different places of the world that are clear across the space from each other, so that they can be somewhat loud, and people in the other space aren't going to have any chance of hearing them. Other things you can do is just put people in a trigger that when they're inside that trigger, it changes the voice settings so that they can be quieter or louder. A lot of times you'll see that on the stage. It'll change your voice to extended. So definitely things to play with there. There's a, I believe it's in the assets, I could be wrong, but a script called Audio Space that Vidu put out quite some time ago.
Really?
But you'll find that one a lot as far as the triggers that change your voice. And it's very simple. There's a little button you push that you tell it whether you want it to do extended or nearby, and it makes that whole setup super easy, so you don't even have to really do any scripting for it.
Okay, but I mean, here's the thing, right? Because we're trying to build this, the whole system they're trying to do to get people to build some at least easy-ish, easier than like JavaScript or something like that, or Blender. But wouldn't it have been easier with the volume control of voices to just put a little bar with a button slider? You know what I mean? Like you can have this much volume, this less volume, right? And that would have been a whole lot easier, right? And you can still do the global, the normal, or whatever. That would be like the softening of tones, I guess, because they don't really make it louder or quieter. They make the tone softer or more dynamic in the way that they utilize that. So it really wouldn't be that difficult for them to put a slider function in to be like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely been stuff that people have been asking for. Like another thing too that is not there right now that people would like to see is if you've got a building that's got 2 different levels, and if you don't space those levels out far enough, you're going to hear the people above you or below you. And
Through the
to
wall.
be able to like adjust, I want the sound to go this way, not this way. Would also be a great thing for them to add.
I mean,
I might
honestly, it'd
add,
be like, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, MetaVoice. I
No,
might
no,
add,
continue.
I played with the sound object a lot, and to get the sound right, like I said, with the ambient sound, I have an outside of the building, which is ambient street noises, and when you walk up and go inside the arena, where there's lobby noises and some chatter of some people, you don't really hear the outside noise too much. So it's about that. What is called min and max, basically minimum and maximum
Right.
distance,
But
0
that
or
min max
1,000.
is basically a
Yeah.
bubble, and it goes in
Yeah.
every direction that maximum
Yeah.
amount.
I
So
really wish they
to-
would give us some kind of like thing when we change it from 1,000 to 100. It shows like a circle, at least showing you the perimeter of where it's going to, you know.
At
But
least
you,
simplify the choice to be right there
oh,
instead of having to create one. I mean, just like if they had a sound blocker like wall, for instance, some people might not know it when it comes to lighting, but sometimes the lights are just a little too bright, and we got to put that light in a box or put some walls in front of it, make them invisible, makes it a lot dimmer. Kind of, it's weird how it works. Why couldn't
it
we do
is.
that for sound? Put have a barrier wall,
Yep.
invisible wall in between one area and another, and what happens here doesn't affect here. I mean,
Yeah,
how
that'd be
difficult
great,
does that
yeah.
have to be?
Yeah, they have recently done multiple tags now, so that you can
Oh
get
yeah.
at things. Maybe I saw that.
I
That
was
might be
just talking to
something.
him about that. I was retagging
Yeah.
a couple things in all these worlds recently. I was
And
like,
all
wait
of
a
a sudden
minute,
you
where
have
did
all
that
these
come from?
tags. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did this? I didn't add 2 tags. You know, like, should I be deleting this? Yeah, I hear you. You're right.
Yeah, no, it's actually a recent
Yeah.
update.
You-
I can actually see that be beneficial on some things, especially when you talk about
Yeah.
sound and whatnot as well.
Ashman, I was saying, you had that
Yes,
Pink
sir.
Floyd thing. If you
Yes.
had you just create Stairway to Heaven, and everyone you have to climb it or making an escalator, right? And they just stand it and they're going up, and as they're going up, and have the Stairway to Heaven play. But I think you could script it where it starts and plays around their head, I guess, differently depending on who comes in, right? So they can hear it at separate times. But yeah, that's what like his little Stairway to Heaven. When they get to the top, it's you get to jump off. Well, you can do whatever you want with the top. Really, that's just my idea. Just
once you get to
jump
the,
off.
once you get to the top, you can ride the highway to hell.
There we go. The highway to
AC/DC.
hell back down. You get in a car and it's just like Hot Wheel it down. It's gonna be great.
ACDC's coming back. They're gonna tour again. Soon.
ACDC is. There's a song that they sing back in black or I don't know,
Yeah,
something like that.
There's cool, you know. Yeah, couple.
There's a couple.
There's a couple songs. Yeah, it's-
Backstreet's Back. No, that's a different band. That's a different band.
Oh.
No.
Should I play that song right now on the DJ here?
Backstreet's Back.
Backstreet's
All
All right.
Yeah, no, it's all left now. It's
Oh, I get you.
yeah.
I
It's
get you.
times change.
All right.
You know how to,
catch up,
So-
catch up, Ashman.
Ace
Okay,
the
but-
Bass, Warfeather. Tell us, what really brought to you? What really brought? Someone So what really brought up this whole thing of sound to be the topic of conversation for this episode?
Oh, a lot of it we just when we were bringing different guests on stuff that they've kind of really dealt with.
Mhm.
So the two of you were just sound is kind of your thing, voices and sound, and so
Yeah,
that's why we
MetaVoice.
went with this week. Every
Yeah.
week we do something a little bit different. We do lighting or some basic
Cool.
scripting or just we just kind of change the topic up each week.
And you're
That's
asking
good.
so many intriguing, deep questions too. They're amazing.
Well, see, typically we leave the questions to the audience and they'll show up and ask.
We've
quite a bit,
informed
but
them.
I think Ashman.
So much
I think
information.
Ashman answered every question before they
Every
got a chance to
question.
ask anything.
Yeah.
Hey,
Basically, I work at a company
Autopilot.
where we don't really meet, so it needs to come out. You know what I
Alright.
mean? Someone
He-
listen
he
to
needs
me.
somebody to talk to.
Someone listen to me, please.
the interview was on autopilot, man, for the first like 15, 20 minutes. It's like, hey, all the questions and answers
You know
are
what? Though,
done.
you know where that comes from. This typically is not me being social on the stage like that, but this is VR, guys, and honestly,
Absolutely.
this is not my cup of tea. But when you work on a project like I did, it does come out like that. It's so you know when you're so into it, and I feel really good that I'm wrapped up because my wife and kids kind of know me now a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
They get to.
I
they got
remember-
introduced to you.
Yeah, I remember
Mine is-
your lighting system in its own little world with 2 lights coming off of it back in the day,
Yes.
and now it's
Okay.
a whole
Yes,
thing
done.
now. So that's
Done.
it came a long way.
Thank you. Yeah. Yep. Very good. So, MetaVoice, let me ask you: you don't record, or you record using the headset's microphone for your voice in here when you do these kind of stories, right?
Correct. All those
You know, the-
recordings are done through. But here, okay. So here's the thing. Yes and no. The recordings done for the audiobooks is done through this headset, correct? Because I haven't figured out how to connect the headset to bring it out to do. But I am a voice actor in real life. I'm voice 1, 2, 3, backstage upbeat, Fiverr, LinkedIn, Audible. I have Audible books out there
Nice.
that I've
Really.
done. So I do voice acting in real life. So I have a studio with microphone, recording
Yep.
equipment, and all that. I can put on
Mhm.
MP4, MP3s, WAV files, you name it.
Yep.
I can get it to you, email it to you, fax it to you, whatever.
Yep.
But if without a bot, I am
Hey,
at a disadvantage when it
it's-
comes to in here.
This microphone overall and this headset,
It's a great microphone.
even
though.
listen, it is. It really is. I mean, I've worked with some musicians trying to do it the proper way with the
Mhm.
bot way of injecting the audio in. I finally bought a professional microphone, which I never thought I would, and a small board,
They're nice to
soundboard.
have.
They're nice to have. I finally just okay, I could use it, and I got one. But I gotta say, some of the musicians I hear at the Soapstone, a cappella or whatever, even just playing the guitar off this microphone, it sounds damn good. You know,
Well,
it really does.
That's one of the things about this microphone. When I enjoyed it originally, a long time ago, here in Horizon, I started off this because I had a podcast. And I couldn't figure out how to get people together to be on a podcast to record because not everyone had professional microphones. Not everyone had,
Yeah.
I had a ton of people I knew, but how the heck was I supposed to record them? And then this came about, and I was using it for like Population 1 and stuff, and came in here to realize that this microphone was actually quite well. It's a good one to
Yeah.
record off of. So now, 2 years later, I have a podcast, restart that back up, and record the entire thing on these headsets, and then just take that sound. Now I have a friend with a bot, and he just takes that audio and we go ahead and put it through our audio editing stuff to normalize the sound. You put in a little bit of gain, put
Yes.
some music
Yeah.
behind it, and it is beautiful sounding when it goes to the
That's awesome.
podcasts. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it. If anything, oftentimes I gotta say, my voice sounds drastically different in this headset than I do if under a professional microphone. Under a professional microphone, it sounds more like I'm trying to narrate a movie. In this headset, it's like I'm trying to narrate a game show. It's
Yeah.
for some reason it sets me off to be a little bit more of a higher pitch, and I think that's because
Yeah,
the
no
way the
bass.
microphone works, it's squeezing that sound. Because a lot of people know
Yeah.
this has a bit of, it drowns out background sounds. It drowns out like white
Yeah.
noise sound as well. There's certain sounds you can't record on the recorder, here in build mode, because
Yep.
for instance, like if you try to record static sound, if you try to
Hmm.
record that through just the microphone, it will then mute the static sound.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
that's very interesting. It has some capabilities of picking up background sound itself.
Yeah. It's kind of like
So,
Ace. You
yeah.
just played some music, I think, right? Just by doing what? You just played.
That was somebody over here, but
Oh, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I thought it was you. It was coming from that area. It's funny how you can even tell that it came from that direction. But even some people in the Soapstone, when they're singing, they do play like I feel like they're just holding their iPhone up to the
That's
headset.
what
and
I do.
singing.
Hold it up. Yeah,
Okay.
karaoke up to
I
the
never even
Mhm.
asked.
because the
Yeah,
speaker is in the left side near the nostril.
gotcha.
That's where it picks up the most sound. Is left side near the
Yeah.
nostril.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have a class on this, and we're gonna take one apart, right?
Yeah, well, there we go. That's what we're gonna. You could probably put it back together, but I could tell you what some of the functions are. All right.
That's awesome.
well,
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
So I
yeah,
think
very good.
unless anybody's got any other questions, I think it's about time for us to be wrapping it up, and maybe we can head over to Ashman's. spot.
Ariola's hand is
Alright,
up.
did you have
It's-
something? You're muted.
Yeah, if you'd like to see
I just wanna wave
MetaVoice's
hi.
world too.
Oh,
Hey,
hi.
Hi, Ari.
Hi.
Oh, you don't have to go. You should go to your. You're fine. I'm good. I
Okay.
use
Yeah.
this thing as a
I do have a
portfolio
quick
now,
question.
mostly.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, come on up. Yeah.
Talking
Great
about
portfolio.
music and all that. I play myself on here, and I know a few other people that do. We talked about making like a meta band or whatever, but the lag situation is the main problem with that situation. So,
Uh-huh.
do you have any like suggestions how to overcome that, or like other than like pre-recorded separately and then play it through a bot and then like kind of mime it to do
Meet
a
each other
concert?
in real life and play in the same room.
Well, you can record it separately.
Well, here's the
and
thing.
send
Yeah,
each other
if you're
tracks
gonna-
and put it together.
If you were gonna do something that was recorded, yeah, that would be the way to do it separately. Trying to do things together at the
Live.
same time,
Yeah,
is-
that's
it's
yeah.
extremely hard.
Yeah.
Here's an idea.
You know,
maybe with a new. Okay,
Just
go for it.
throwing it out there. You can catch it. You don't have to. Music's all about timing, right? When the instruments start, when different things start. So if you know that and you know how much time the lag is, if you're willing to put a little extra work in it, you can have a bot or an extra player or whatever be out there while you're doing your music and practicing, rehearsing, and try to then time the lag to start your play then. And that way it all comes together and we can hear it as one band. It's a whole different way of playing. It's playing the lag. and that way it just takes practice. But it's possible. If you time it, it can be done.
Yeah, if it's
So-
consistent enough.
Well, and one
Or
thing you said
don't
there
go ahead
is
and
something
listen to
I have-
them, not me.
I have talked to somebody about this before, and kind of the best thing that they'd come out with was, first determining what that lag space is, where each person needs to start, but then in the world that you're using, have basically a blinking light that would be your metronome, and you just turn your volume
Yes, that's
down so
right.
you don't hear the other instruments because that's going to throw you
Yes.
off by all the lag. And you just play your part to that metronome of that blinking light. And if everybody's playing that same speed with that blinking light, you theoretically could play together.
Yeah, it should match up.
Wait,
Yeah,
that was an amazing addition to the idea. You took my idea and put it
Yeah.
into steroid
Yeah.
mode. It was platinum. All right, go ahead.
Let me add something though. I mean, I did the concert arena, and then I brought some of those elements into a place called the Dark Side. It's someone's like, okay, everyone has a
My
nightclub,
soul.
everyone has their place, but like, I built this room called the Dark Side where it has a stage that lifts up, and it does have a band of 4 people.
Yeah, which is
And,
great, by the way. I've seen it several times.
Yeah, but like to add to that, and this is why I built this room, because I wanted to film some of these talented people in that room just to get better video of it. But the question I have for a musician like yourself, or band members like a singer or a guitarist or whatever, a
Drummer,
pianist or something,
they're musicians.
I would think with a headset on your head and maybe put some AirPods in your ear, right? So it's a monitor. But I would think Discord, playing music through Discord, streaming it to everyone in their monitor earpod would be all in the same time. You guys would be listening to whatever you're doing through your monitor ear, and it would come
That's
across
another
to
thing, yeah.
anyone in the metaverse
Yeah,
audience
that's a good
live.
thing to look into.
Listen to each other through a
It's
different
basically
outlet
headphones.
and just turn your headset down.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn the headset down and play it.
Or,
through that.
or actually, some of the things, and I'll give credit to Ari here. One night, Ari and I and the full moon, I was DJing and I needed some help, and we learned that Spotify allows you to share a link and control Spotify. Basically, she controlled it from her house, the same playlist. So she was able to do this kind of thing, multiple people controlling one media source in the metaverse, which was just awesome. That kind of thing would
Technology.
happen.
What will they come up with next?
Yeah, the reason like your the concert world so much is the ambience, the actual sound in there is fantastic. I don't know how you did that exactly, but
Yeah, I mean, it's credit to the band. It's a cover band that I once saw during COVID. But I did take some of their music, but I actually did sing a song in this show.
yeah. Well, just the sound in general, like it.
Okay, I won't quit my day job, right?
No, it does sound great. Sound good.
Was the cover band The Machine?
No, but I love them and I know them. But
I've
no,
seen
it
them
wasn't.
live. They're great.
Yeah, the guy Joe died. I love that band, but no, it's not. It was a band out of Canada.
No, it sounds
Yeah.
good.
What band
That's
out
what
of Canada?
I've taken several people
sorry?
in there just to watch it.
What was the band name out of Canada?
It was like
Light show.
the Wall. It was a show
Oh,
touring
like
around
a-
during COVID.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah.
Wall. Yeah, it's kind of like an opera kind of show, but
Nice.
yep.
Cool. But thanks
Yeah,
for
thank you. Lily.
Thank you for your question, Lily.
Port?
And all those people that are just coming in. Remember to like, save, and share. Port?
I got 2 questions. Is it over?
I don't want to buy your
is it over-
extended warranty. Sorry.
Is it over 18 plus only in here right now?
Yes.
Subscription fee.
Yes.
As
Anybody's
long as
welcome.
As long as you're being respectful, you're good to be here.
All right, and then one more question. This
What's
is a
that?
meeting about creating and like building, right?
Yeah.
Sounds, but yes.
That's what Lunch Lady said.
Yeah, this is every Wednesday at 10 Eastern. So if you have questions about building, we go over a topic every week for you.
Oh, all right, sick.
Everybody is welcome. There is no restriction, just as long as you don't interrupt or whatever, and you answer questions or ask questions when it's time and whatnot. So
Are you building your own world? Do you have questions about anything about audio?
No, I'm not really building a world. I'm just kind of,
Well,
popping
these
in.
are the guys to ask.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're about ready to wrap it up then. We're glad you guys all came out. For our guests
You guys are all coming out.
and MetaVoice.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
having
you,
us.
guys.
This has
Thank
been
you. This is a good night.
pleasure for
Good night.
sure.
I'm around good people.
Anybody that wants to, we're gonna throw a portal over to Ash's world. So
Tear down the wall.
hey, if you guys go to his world, put some Bluetooth
AirPods.
audio in it. Really listen to it. It's really good.
And
actually.
remember
It
to
looks good.
like, save, and share his world.
Miranda.
So not only you can enjoy the music, but your friends can too. I'm
Standing back.
MetaVoice, and I'm gonna
Oh my
I'm gonna go.
goodness.
I have a date with a plant.
Seriously?
A very
Oh,
green
Lord.
you
plant.
got the wall up, Lunch Lady.
It's a good show.
Smells like ham sometimes.
Can you drop the wall?
Oh, did I leave the wall up? Yeah.
Hi,
Psych.
Solange.
I thought we were.
Psych.
The wall. No, I got.
I hit the
You gotta
wall.
stand
Well,
over
we're gonna
here.
go see the wall.